Alright, welcome back to another Crabby talks and rants about crowdfunding campaigns, and today we're looking at Radlands from Roxley Games. So this is a 1v1 card battling type of game. Think Star Realms, Hero Realms, Magic the Gathering, but not any of those mechanics. It's just a card game where you're battling 1v1. Okay, so this is brought to us by Roxley Games, and let's spend 2 seconds here to talk about Roxley Games because they're by far one of my favorite publishers, bar none. All right, they're awesome. Their games are all incredible. If I were to make a top 100, pretty much their whole catalog would be on my top 100. Santorini, Super Motherload, Steampunk Rally, my favorite racing game, Dice Throne, Brass, probably the best reprinted game from the last 5-10 years. I mean, their components are out of this world. Their art direction is amazing. They put detail. Their iconography is great. The rule books are excellent. They're an awesome company. I love them. They're the best. But as you can see, I'm gushing over them at the start because they haven't had a misstep yet. And I think this might be the one that's sort of a misstep because I see some problems with the whole project. All right, let's go through it. All right. Again, if you haven't seen one of my videos, this is 100% my subjective take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to look at the value, the gameplay, things I like, things I don't like. And you know what, if I helped you out at all, why not subscribe to my channel? All right, so let's get started. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to tackle value first and get the negatives out of the way, and then we're going to come back and talk about the gameplay, which has some good and bad things that I want to talk about. All right, so let's talk about this value. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to notice, you're going to go through the page, you're going to want to see what you're getting for your money. You're going to notice that there's no stretch goals, no unlocks, no nothing like that. It's pretty much a pre-order product. Here you're going to pay 40 USD, and what are you going to get in the box? All right, you're going to get about 90 cards and 12 tokens that you're going to see in a couple of seconds, 12 of these tokens. Now, I mean, you don't have to be a mathematician to figure out that this is just horrible value. This is not 40 USD worth of stuff in the box. It's just not. I mean, you can compare this to every other Kickstarter that's come out in the last 5 years at this price point, and this game has 1/10 the amount of content of those games. You can compare it to every other card game that's come out that has less than 100 cards, and those games are all $8 to $10 at retail. I mean, I can give you examples for days. I mean, I'll give you one just because I filled up the pledge managers this morning. Creature Comforts, I mean, that one had over 100 cards. Half of them were tarot sized cards. You got over 230 wooden bits. You got the game trays insert, a huge board, and all that was 50 USD, so $10 more. You know, you compare those two games, they're not even in the same league. All right. I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. I think honestly what they should have done is maybe have a double set, so have one set at 20, another set at 20, so buy them both at 40. That's pretty much what I was looking at, but at 40 USD for one, it's way too expensive. And the reasoning they're also trying to sell it at that price is a couple things: numbering on the box, saying that it's exclusive to Kickstarter and all that stuff, and retail they won't have that stuff. What I would suggest is, if you are interested in this game, wait till retail. You'll be able to pick up this deck of 90 cards and 12 tokens for like 10 bucks. All right, so you don't get plastified cards and you don't get these fake like chits. Who cares? It's just a 1v1 card game like Star Realms. All right. Another negative about getting this is any future Kickstarter, you're pretty much forced to get the plastified, more expensive cards, because you sort of have to match the two decks together. You don't want one of them that use regular cardstock and another one using the plastified cardstock, right? Type of thing. All right. The only other thing you can actually get on this campaign is the hazmat upgrade, and I actually like this price and I like this upgrade. All right, you're gonna get the extra box with 2 playmats. Pretty good value, 20 USD. Usually these are $5-10 boxes, $10, $15, $20 playmats. You add that all together, it's a pretty good value. But then again, you're adding $20 on top of the $40 base plus shipping. You're paying almost $75 for less content than a Star Realms tuck box that you can get at your local store for $10. All right, keep that in mind. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Now, all that being said, some people don't really care about the price. They have the money. So let's talk about the gameplay. All right, so for gameplay, you know, a couple of positives I'm going to talk about, the things I like, and just a couple of negatives that really worry me that I'm going to mention a bit later. But, you know, just to get started at a high level, if I had to explain this game to somebody and what it plays like, what I would say, it's pretty much a marriage between the best parts of Star Realms with let's say like a Keyforge or other these 1v1 games where you're trying to achieve an objective. For this one, it's destroying your opponent's 3 bases, so that's pretty cool. Something that I haven't seen before. All right, so let's go through some of the positives that I really like. I'm going to compare it a lot to Star Realms because I see the same type of DNA. But first, the ease of playing, getting it to the table. All right, so this game, just like Star Realms, it's one common pool of cards. You're going to shuffle it together, put it out on the table. You're pretty much ready to go. All right, it's that easy to get started. Second, you don't really have to customize anything. All right, it's not like one of those LCGs or Magic the Gathering or other 1v1 card games where you have to actually customize your deck. So that's why it's more like a Keyforge or a Star Realms as well. Third, I really love the resource system in this game. It's the water. You get 3 water per turn. You spend it however you like, and you regenerate the 3 water for the following turn. So you don't have to introduce new resource mechanisms in this game at all, like a Magic or any other game like that, the World of Warcraft trading card game, other things like that. Pretty easy to understand. Alright, so the last thing that I really want to mention that I really like in the game, which is a really unique mechanism, which is the event system. I haven't seen this in any other game. It's pretty cool. So instead of playing instants like you would in other games and catch your opponents by surprise, in this one, a lot of the cards, you're playing them, they'll get triggered after 2 or 3 rounds, so your opponent has a bit of time to sort of react to what's happening, and I really like that system. It's pretty cool. You know, other things that I like, you know, ease of play, like I mentioned, easy to understand rules, all that stuff goes without saying, pretty good. Now let's tackle some of the sort of things that worry me about the game. I got really 3 things to mention. First being the time length of the game. The playthroughs that I've seen, they've both went past 45 minutes. The other one went past an hour. Sure, you might get the game down if both players know what they're doing, but I feel like if it's a game, it's like a tit for tat game where if the people are on the same level, there's a lot of going back and forth, which might lead to some longer game times, but we'll see when the game comes out how that unfolds. All right, the second thing that you know, I mentioned before, lack of customization, but for me, being a card player for many years, including Magic the Gathering, I love customizing a personal deck, seeing how it works, adding mechanics, you know, making a creature deck or a spell deck or a counter deck. You know, that really appeals to me. I love that, and that's what makes games last a long time. Like Keyforge, just to give you an example, Keyforge, everyone loved that game. Where, oh, lack of customization, blah blah, it's amazing, easy to get to the table. Nobody plays that game anymore. After a month or 2, it's just boring because you're just playing the same deck over and over again. No customization, it has no legs. So I really didn't like that at all. I prefer games with that, but that's my personal choice, and lack of customization might be great for other people. And my third negative, and probably my biggest beef with the game, is that there's a lot of top decking in this game, and there's really no way around it because they don't really have a mechanism to draw a lot of cards. All right, so a lot of the playthroughs that I saw and reading the rules and, you know, analyzing the game, it's a lot of, you know, you have either 1 or 0 cards in your hand. At the start of your turn, you're going to draw 1, and you're going to decide what you want to do with your 1 or 2 cards in your hand. Play one of them, use the rest of your water on a building, and that's pretty much your turn. Next turn, rinse, repeat. You never are flushed full of cards, having to do deep decisions based on like 4 or 5 different cards you may have in your hand. Just a lot of top decking. I would have preferred to see a system where you can get to draw a lot somehow. They do have a system where you can use 2 water to draw 1 extra card, but honestly, that's like wasting your whole turn to draw 1 card. It's really inefficient, and if you're doing that a lot in the game, I think you're gonna lose. So that's my thoughts on the game. Just some things worry me, but overall it seems like a simple game to get to the table and play, sort of like a Star Realms. I'm going to compare it a lot to that game. All right, so those are my thoughts. Let me know below if you're backing it, if you like it, if what you think I said is okay, and we'll see you in the next one later.